So welcome. Today we're checking out a very interesting car, one that I've been looking forward to drive for a long time. It's the Nismo Z. So it's the Nissan Motorsports version of the 370Z, a car that's pretty long in the tooth. We've had this car since 2009 and I think I've driven just about every version of it. Roadsters, manual, and now the Nismo version. So what has Nismo actually done? Well, they've made it much more track focused. So power's up a little bit, 350 versus 328 horsepower, smidge more torque, but it is a lot stiffer. And you can see you get this very racy body kit, these unique wheels. We'll look at that in more detail in a bit. But really, it is the ultimate speed Z. If the regular one is more of a Grand Tourer, this one is supposed to be the no compromises GT3, Superleggera, all the fancy words. Prices also go up a bit. The regular one's about 150,000 dirhams, give or take. This one's 185. It's not a huge premium, but it is a premium for what is frankly an old car from a platform standpoint. But can it still cut the mustard? I mean, there are lots of car contenders out there. There's the Toyota Supra, there's the BMW Z4, basically the same car. A lot of, and not much else actually. When I say a lot of contenders, those are it, because rear wheel drive, 6-cylinder power, sports car, it's kind of these ones. These are the last of the line. So can the Z still cut the mustard? Let's find out. So what's different about the Z Motorsports Edition? Well, you can see you've got this body kit here with this red lower lip and these LED lights. Quite striking actually. Big Nismo badge down here and a license plate, which really should be the long license plate. Sorry Nissan, I'm sure done that. Otherwise pretty much standard. Now what's interesting about this body kit is actually toned down, because the previous version was super crazy. It was like a veil side kit from the 90s. It was very, very extreme, with a huge wing. This one doesn't. This one's a little more toned down, and they've realized that people are getting a bit older and want a car that's not quite as mad. Love these wheels. I think these are Ray's engineering, but they haven't got any logos on them. They look super nice. They're 19s all round. I think they're 19 by 8 at the front, 19 by 10 at the back. I could be wrong, but they're pretty big meaty wheels. They've also got the sportiest tire Dunlop's makes. It's the SP Sport Max GT 600. I don't even know what the 500 is like. Maybe people didn't like the 500. Good tire, very, very sticky. I imagine it won't last a huge amount of time. One of the nicest details about the Z is that this lights up. Let me see if I can make it do that. Come on, Giado. There you go. So when you indicate, this actually lights up, which was something that people used to do in the aftermarket, and Nissan realized, well, let's just do that on the regular car. Still got the red strip down the bottom. This pearl white color is absolutely gorgeous. You've got these brushed metal door handles here, which are like a satin grey. They're lovely, absolutely lovely. Proper metal as well, and keyless entry. If you go around the back, you see a car that's frankly still a good looking car. These Z cars have aged really well. I thought at the time they're going to look dated, but this just looks great. I mean, I love the rear body kit here with this sort of 4 intake. The little subtle spoiler, not a big massive wing, wang, whatever you want to call it. And of course, let's see what the boot's like. Come on, boot. Well, it's got space for my bag and slippers and not much else. It isn't a huge craze, but then it's a sports car. What do you really expect? You've got enough for basically one carry-on bag. Is there a... hang on. Is there a spare underneath? Wow, there's just lots of stuff underneath. Oh, there is no spare underneath. In fact, only the subwoofer. So actually, there's not much space at all. And you've got a little parcel shelf here, which is a bit of a joke, to be honest. But inside is pretty nice. They've done a few updates. It's still, however, a very old car, as we're about to find out. So the 370Z is an old cabin, and it really feels it on the inside. It's got a ton of black plastic. It's livened up a bit by the sort of red contrast stitching down here. I don't know if you can really see it. Got a nice Nismo badge, a little satin grey down here, but again, it's plastic, not metal. There's a bit of nice leather up here. This is a really nice Alcantara steering wheel. It's got that racy red stripe on the top, tell you where you're going directly straight. But honestly, it is not a particularly modern cabin, and you can really see it in the waterfall dash down here. It's very clear, you've got climate control down here, radio, and a screen. But there's no CarPlay, there's no Android Auto, there's one USB. It is incredibly lacking in modern accoutrements, as you like to say. The seats are these Ricardos. They're very, very aggressive. They hold your shoulders in. I mean, they're actually quite comfy. I like them. But they are very, very full on. Like after a few days, you're going to be like, can I drive this every day? At least they didn't go for harnesses. Let's be honest, at least they didn't go for harnesses. I'm happy with that. It is an automatic. I'm not crazy about this, but then again, I've driven the Z manual. It is a bit of a heavy manual. It is a bit like driving a tractor. So I'm curious to see if the 7-speed auto is any good, because this is the kind of car that most people are going to buy out here, because people are too lazy to drive manual. It makes me really sad. Other than that, Like the Z honestly needed a big update and it hasn't got it. In terms of the interior, it's not a particularly fun place to be, but if you like 90s cars, it is. They've got these hooded gauges down here which do water temperature, battery and clock, and furiously the clock doesn't agree with the clock down here. The car is, yeah, this is how cars used to be in the 90s. You can almost imagine the aftermarket stereo fitting in right here. But it is a little bit old-fashioned, and now people just want lots and lots of gadgets. They want little iDrive controllers. Nissan themselves have so many controllers. Why hasn't any of that made it into the Z? And I'll tell you why. Because Nissan stopped spending money on this car, because it's not selling much. And it's a shame, because as you're about to find out, it is kind of old school, and it kind of gives you the thrills that a modern car just won't do. If I had to buy this car, this interior could be a real deal breaker. But if you like driving, there's only one Z. So we're at our favorite spot, and we're giving the Z a bit of gunnage to see how it does. 350 horsepower. Does it really feel more powerful than the regular Z? Not really. But it's still a quick car. It's a very muscly car. It's a very stiff, old school kind of feel to it. The steering is very meaty, maybe too meaty, one might say. I have to say it's quite a workout to drive. It's not fingertip light. There are no driving modes, nothing at all. Nothing. I'm stuck behind a truck because of course that's what I am on this twisty mountain road. That's what you do, is get stuck behind a truck. Hopefully it's tied everything down. It's actually not that much torque at low revs actually, for considering it's a big 3.7 litre V6. It's actually lacking a little bit of that low end torque. So you have to give it the beans. It is quite a high revvy engine, about 7,000 RPM. So there is plenty power. You just have to reach for it sometimes. But that's a very Japanese thing to do as well. And away we go. We're in a manual. 7,000 RPM, hard on the brakes, big Nismo brakes. And we are going for 6,000 RPM, gear change. It's actually quite a quick little number here. Hold on. Quite a quick little car. I'm very impressed. And normally Zs are quite playful, pokey things. They like to swing the tail around, but this one feels impressively glued and tight. The stiffness really helps here. Why I'm in fourth gear. I'm only going to change gears. There's plenty of torque around 3,000 RPM. Front end's a lot better at speed. At low speed it can be a little understeery, but now it's coming round. You gotta balance the back and the front, because I feel like the back really wants to do its own thing. The best power band is sort of between 5 and 7,000 RPM, which is unusual. And there's a school bus. Of course there's a school bus. Where did the school bus come from? My life. Why school bus? It gives me an idea to talk about the Z and its place in the world, because I'm not really sure the Z has a place in the world anymore. People want cars and sedans and crossovers that kind of do this. I don't know if that's what I want. I like an old school kind of car. I mean, this thing, when you really finally get to grips with it, it's a great car to drive, no question. It still is a very, very exciting car, but it's also very one purpose. It's like the Japanese designed it just to do this, just to go fast, just to blast down mountain roads in lonely places, like I'm about to do. Alright, past the bus, watch the gentleman, and here we go. Yeah, it's still a little trucky. The thing the Z is always the problem has been is it's very understeery, it's very heavy. Nissans like to be very heavy. They don't agile. They're not like Hondas. They don't sniff out corners. They demolish corners. But the ride is pretty good at this level. Around town again, it's quite nippy. Oh. It sounds faster than it is, and it is a bit of a grainy, harsh noise, dare I say it. Let's see how it deals the damping coming down the big hill. How does it deal the damping? Easy peasy. But you have to keep on top of it. This is a both hands on the steering wheel kind of car. It is not a relax and just listen to the music. Oh, down again, big moment. No trouble at all. Yeah, for this sort of thing, if you do this all day long, the Nismo Z is the car. Is it an exciting car? Yes, actually, I would say yes. And even the automatic, which I had lots and lots of concerns about, it's also really good. Shifts nice, it's fast. I like a manual, and I think you can get a manual if you ask nicely from Nissan. But does it have a place in the world? That's what I'm not so sure about. The new Supra will do all of this, but with CarPlay. but with big screens and probably faster. I mean, that Supra is cheating on the power trim limit for sure. It's a way faster car. I don't know, man. The Z might be a katana in a machine gun world. But on the other hand, I'm glad that it still exists. I just wish Nissan had done more with it. I wish Nissan had actually kept updating it. It would have been a pretty damn great car. As it is, it's a really, really nice car when you have this sort of road. I still think, you know, a lighter car would be faster. And maybe that's what the next Nissan Z will be. It'll be a 4-cylinder, maybe a hybrid. It'll be a lot more easy because you can feel that weight of the nose. You can just feel it dragging the car around the bends. It does not feel like a nimble British sports car. It's like a Japanese brutal car. But on the other hand, I'm glad that it exists. I'm glad they still make it. How long will it continue? Probably not long. But if you've never driven a Z, you should, because this is what cars should be. They're fun cars, they're date cars, they're cars that you take to car shows. You can put body kits on it, you can drill into things, put big woofing stereos. You know, you can do whatever you like. And that's what the Z ethos is. It's a California car. It's everything. And as we move to like more sedans and crossovers, we lose a little bit of that ethos, I think. So on that sad note, it's time to leave you. Thanks for watching. This is Imtishan. This is Motoring Middle East. Make sure you like, comment, blah, blah, blah. And hopefully I get more sports cars. This is the first sports car I've driven in a year because cars are boring now. So I want more sports cars. But the next one I think is going to be really cool. I think it's going to be something with a Supra badge on it. And maybe even a Z4. Who knows? See you soon.